What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to Tuesday evening's Anfield Agenda News Roundup, where today we're going to be discussing Liverpool's apparent interest in Eduardo Camavinga. We'll be discussing Antoine Semenyo, as the Reds' interest there is certainly growing. We'll have Jamie Carragher's take on Mohamed Salah, a little bit on the odds for Arne Slot to lose his job, and a few other interesting bits and pieces, including another link with Joe Gomez and a move away from the Reds. If you enjoy this video, folks, you know what I'd like you to do. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Hit that like button, and of course, I will see you back here tonight at 8:45 for the late night agenda. So look, let's get cracking. We're going to start off with a report from Ian Doyle that said Ryan Gravenberch is not in training today for Liverpool, but Alexis McAllister and Endo have resumed training, or McAllister was training and Endo has resumed. So bit of good news, bit of bad news there. We could certainly do what Ryan Gravenberch's been available, but it isn't a surprise to hear that he's feeling the effects of that ankle injury he picked up against Manchester United. So fingers crossed we have Ryan back as soon as possible, and when we get more information on that, we will of course bring it to you. So Jamie Carragher and a friend at Anfield Index posted this quote from CARRA, said, "I don't think he should be starting every game right now." Speaking about Mohamed Salah, certainly away from home with the form he's in. Liverpool have got 2 away games, Frankfurt, and then they go to Brentford. I don't think Salah should start both of those games. Now, I agree with Jamie Carragher. I'd like to see Chiesa given the run in both the games, not because of anything against Mohamed Salah. He's just not performing. Other positions, I'd say the very same thing. But I want to know what you guys think. Do you agree with CARRA? Should we be looking at somebody else to play? Maybe you don't think it's Chiesa, but should somebody else start in these next 2 games? Or would you like to keep playing Mo until he finds the form? For me, I would agree with CARRA because, look, it hasn't been working for a while and we've got to start changing things up. So Paddy Power have put the odds out of Arne Slot being fired, and they have him at 16-1, which is the 9th favourite to lose his job. I'm nowhere near sacking Arne Slot. I'm not, but I am very angry and I am very frustrated with where we are, and he needs to start making changes, like we said last night on the stream. But let me know exactly where you're at with the situation with Slot. We can't continue to lose games. 4 in a row as Liverpool manager is unacceptable. 5 in a row is unthinkable. Right, so MSI Douglas of the newspaper has said Liverpool considering a January move for Antoine Semenyo as pressure grows on the out-of-favour Mohamed Salah. Semenyo has mystery. Now, we do know the release clause is in there. As we said, we don't know what the release clause number is, but if there's one man who can find out, it is probably Richard Hughes with his connections there at Bournemouth. I'm sure, again, they won't want to lose him. He signed a new contract, which of course would have had that release clause inserted into it in the summer to reward him for, well, a very good season with Bournemouth. So let me know your take on what you think Semenyo is worth, or do you think maybe the likes of a Nico Williams or somebody else would be a better fit? Sticking with the newspaper, Liverpool are considering a January move for Semenyo. Again, that's good news to me. I think it is time to start looking at other options. We don't have directness, we don't have pace in wide areas, and if Antoine Semenyo can come in and do that, I wouldn't be against it. I'm not going to lie, he wouldn't be my #1 top target, but he's a very good footballer and he's a physical unit. So if he's who the gaffer wants and if he's who Hughes and Edward wants, then I wouldn't be against it one bit. Now let's move over in the other direction and talk a little bit about Joe Gomez. We know that he was potentially close to move to AC Milan at the end of the summer transfer window. This piece here from Sport Witness said, Liverpool is reportedly open to letting Joe Gomez join AC Milan in January, with the transfer fee expected to be between 8.6 and £13 million. How is this possible? Unless we have 2 centre-backs ready to go and come in on January the 1st, I think this is absolute insanity to even consider it. The numbers, look, we can talk about them another day, whether we think they're realistic or not. But I guess it's going to come down to, does the manager trust Joe? Does he want him to play? Because we're not seeing him getting opportunities this season. Southampton, I think, the only game I can remember. So is it worth giving Joe a run out to see if he can do a job maybe at right back before making this decision? I would certainly say yes. That right back position is up for grabs right now, as Arne doesn't know his best one. So I'd give Joe Gomez a run there, especially with the games coming up. But do let me know your thoughts on it. So yeah, that's where we're at with Joe Gomez. Apologies, my wife was trying to ring me there, even though she knows I'm making a bit of content, but you know, the joys of doing the stuff. So let's talk about transfer news live now. Eduardo Camavinga is said to be bitter about his diminished role at Real Madrid this season amid rumours linking him with a potential move to Liverpool. He's only played 141 minutes under Xabi Alonso so far this campaign. Now look, would I take Eduardo Camavinga at Liverpool? Yes, I would. I very, very much would. He's a fantastic footballer. Do I think that Liverpool are going to go to Real Madrid with an offer for Eduardo Camavinga? No. But if he's not getting game time, will they want an unhappy player there? Look, he would be very, very close to the top of my list if we're looking for another midfielder in that area. I really do rate him as a footballer, and I was very jealous when Real Madrid got him. So let me know your take on that one. Do you think it's doable? And would you take Camavinga at Liverpool? So, Liverpool spent nearly £450 million in the summer, writes the newspaper, but are still in the market for long-term successors to Mohamed Salah and Virgil van Dijk. And they still have the headroom to spend again under PSR rules after offsetting the record spending spree by selling the likes of Núñez and Diaz in the close season. That's really exciting stuff to hear, that even though we did spend that £450 million because of the money we brought back in and because of our frugal nature in other windows before that, Liverpool still have PSR wiggle room to go out there and spend a load of dough on a centre-back if needs be and another attacker. Music to my ears, but we also have to look at the problems we've had from the amount of change that we've already done this season. Would that add to it, or would that just increase competition? Really interested to know your thoughts on that one. So Conor Bradley, our account, Anfield Agenda on X, has said Conor Bradley will miss match day 4 if he picks up against Real Madrid, I should say, if he picks up a booking in tomorrow's game against Eintracht Frankfurt. So fingers crossed he doesn't, because we want to have as many options available to the manager. So he does pick up that booking, as we said. That will rule him out of the game coming up against Real Madrid in the next Champions League round. We do have those difficult 2 away games this week. Tomorrow night, Eintracht Frankfurt. Then on Saturday night, the Reds head down to London to take on Brentford. Again, another massive must-win fixture, and we get to revisit Craig Houlden, who, of course, left the Reds in the summer. So that is where we're pretty much at on that one, but I just want to share my thoughts once again on Arne Slot, because I'm really frustrated with his seemingly pig-headedness to not really change things. I'm also absolutely astonished that he disappeared over to Dubai for the winter break. Look, it's one thing, or the international break, it's one thing taking 2 or 3 days to go back to the Netherlands, visit his family or whatever. I think we'd have all understood that. But to jet off the sunnier climate when your team is in a mess and you've got a big, big problem to fix, and it didn't go well for him that we lost to United. That's only going to add to the pressure now of that very questionable decision to go away. I don't think I'm the only Liverpool fan who's annoyed with this one. I've seen other content creators complaining about it as well. But he has to sort it out now, because like I've said, this is Liverpool Football Club. You don't lose 4 games in a row. And if we don't win on Wednesday, pressure's just going to continue to mount. So I don't know, again, at what point I'm going to say I think we may need a change. I'm not there yet. But I mentioned this last night in the stream. I don't know what it will take for me to get there, because I've never really had to do this as a content creator. We had Jurgen for all those years and nobody was ever thinking about sacking him. So this is kind of new territory for me, and I'm being honest, I don't know what it'll take. So that is it for now, ladies and gentlemen, but I will see you back here tonight at 8:45 for the late night agenda. As always, we appreciate your support and look forward to chatting with you then. Take care.